Hey there. So me and a friend are climbing up this popular climb at Squamish known as Star Check. A very great climb. Everyone should do it. It's fully bolted. The rappelling is really easy. You actually rappel down into a canyon and then climb out. And you can see the river out there. You climb up above. The route follows this red along the rock. It's just a really great climb. And this climb is 4 pitches if you have a 60-meter rope. But they have interesting anchor stations, and I wanted to talk about that. So you have your variety of 2-bolt anchor stations, but then you also have these sort of stations right here where it's 2 chains connected by some sort of master point. And these are sort of becoming a bit more popular with the newer route developers and people liking them. And the great advantage of these is that the anchor setup is a lot easier. So when I got up here, the first thing I did is I threw myself in on a clove hitch. Notice how I'm clipped into the master point, which is equalized between the 2 bolts. So if one of those bolts fail, I still have another one. And that's the point of an anchor, is to have that equalization. So what I did, hooked myself straight into the master point, plain and simple. Now, when I belay my friend up, I'm going to hook them into the master point as well, and then load my ATC accordingly. Now you may notice how I have 2 carabiners right here, and I did that for a number of reasons. One, if I clipped this carabiner connecting the ATC to the anchor, there could be some rub. As I pull in rope from my climber climbing up, it could rub against this part of my clove hitch on the rope. And that could cause some problems. When you have active rope continually rubbing on one part of a non-active rope, then you can actually get some problems, like possibly melting of the sheath and damage of your rope, possibly to the point of retirement. So by extending the ATC down 1 extra carabiner, I don't have that problem. Another thing I did by extending it is the hole, or the ring on my Black Diamond ATC is sideways. It's sideways compared to the plate, so it tends to sit like this against the wall, or like this. And so by extending it 1 carabiner further, it adds a 90-degree tweak in that system, and now my ATC is out and away from the wall, and I can easily pull in rope really fast. Now some of you out there may be saying, hey, that's metal on metal, man, you can't do that. Well, yes I can, because metal on metal in a static setup like this isn't a big deal. If it was, then why do we put links of chain like going all the way down the chain? And every rappel station technically is breaking that rule. So metal on metal in this setup isn't bad. It's not poor practice either. This is very common. And metal on metal in this sense too is also very common. So if I was clipping a quick draw to my carabiner on my cam and then climbing up and possibly dynamically loading that, then you have a bit more of a problem. But seeing as this is the static setup and the rope is the dynamic element in the system, and these are always going to be pulled just by having the weight of the rope, they're always going to be held in the same spot. Metal on metal is not a problem in this setup. So I want you to feel free to start experimenting with this sort of setup while you're outside in your own climbing. Do keep in mind that your anchor has to be fully serene, or earnest, or serena, or whatever you want, whatever acronym you want to use. And you can just run through the list to sort of figure that one out. But when you do run across these anchors, then you can try experimenting, because you don't need to build the whole 2 equalized points with a sling system if you already have those 2 equalized points right here. Another common anchor you could find more in Washington and especially in Barrington is you have your bolt up here running down to a chain, and then there's a bolt right down here connected with a wrap ring. And that is perfectly fine as well. I've even seen those sort of anchors in Index. As long as both bolts are connected by some sort of master point chain, you can use this style of anchor with them. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about it, you can always leave a comment. If you like the video, then hit the subscribe button. There are plenty more to come.